Hi students, in this video we will understand the difference between PTE Academic, which is Pearson Test of English, and IELTS, which is International English Language Testing System. IELTS is an international English language testing system and is designed to assess the language ability of candidates who need to study or work where English is the language of communication. IELTS is jointly managed by the University of Cambridge ESOL Examinations, British Council, and IDP IELTS Australia. IELTS conforms to the highest international standards of language assessment. IELTS is recognized by universities and employers in many countries, including Australia, Canada, New Zealand, UK, and the USA. It is also recognized by professional bodies, immigration authorities, and other government agencies. On the other hand, let's find out what PTE Academic is. The Pearson Test of English Academic is a computer-based academic English language test aimed at non-native English speakers wanting to study abroad and immigration. PTE Academic is a fair test. A highly accurate computer marking means consistent scores and no potential for examiner bias. Moreover, it is approved for all Australian and New Zealand visa and migration applications. It is accepted by 100% of Australian, New Zealand, and Ireland universities. It is accepted by 95% of British universities, and it is accepted by 500 plus institutions in USA and Canada, including Yale and Harvard Business School, as well as a growing number of universities in other countries such as Malaysia and Singapore. Now let's find out the test structure. If we take a look at IELTS, it is divided into 4 sections: reading, which takes 1 hour, writing is another 1 hour, listening is for 30 minutes, and speaking is for 11 to 14 minutes. So the total time duration is 2 hours 44 minutes. On the other hand, PTE Academic again splits into 4 sections. It starts with an introduction which is not timed, which is approximately for 30 seconds to 1 minute. Then we have reading, which is 32 to 41 minutes. Speaking and writing is altogether 77 to 93 minutes, and listening is 45 to 57 minutes. Let's take a look at the scorecard difference. If we take a look at the PTE Academic scorecard, the total points is 90, and the student needs to score somewhere between 54 to 66 minimum. And if we take a look on the IELTS scorecard, on the other hand, it is again maximum 9 bands, and to appear or to get admissions in universities in Canada, Australia, the student needs to score minimum 6.5. So almost, if you take a look at PTE Academic and IELTS, it follows in the same category. Let's take a look at the speaking skills. If we take a look at the IELTS question types, there are 3 types of questions. The first is an introduction, in which you talk about your family background, your educational background, any work experience, your hobbies and interests. Then you get a cue card, which is a topic like an extempore, and you get 1 minute to prepare, and then you need to talk for another 1.5 minutes. And it is followed by cross-questioning questions, which is always linked with the cue card. Now, if we take a look at the PTE Academic question types, in PTE Academic, the speaking section is done on the computer, which improves the test taker's confidence. Besides, the variety of questions gives them an opportunity to enhance their score. So, since the scoring is automated, it is completely objective. Now here the first question will be read aloud, wherein you will see a paragraph and you need to read appropriately, taking into consideration your pronunciation and fluency. Second is a repeat sentence, where you will hear one sentence and after the sentence finish, you need to repeat the same sentence, whatever you heard. The third question type is a describe image. You will see an image and you need to make sure you need to explain the image in 40 seconds. You get 25 seconds to take a look at the image. The fourth question type is a retell lecture, where you get to hear a lecture and then again you have to write points and then you need to answer it in your own words within 40 seconds. And the last question type is an answer short question. You will get one question, a very simple question, and you need to answer it in 1 or 2 words. Moving on to the writing skills in IELTS Academic. Now IELTS is divided in academic and general. Academic is given by the students who are preparing for study abroad, and general on the other hand is for the immigration. So if you're preparing for the IELTS Academic, you will get a report writing which you get 20 minutes and you need to write for 150 to 180 words. On the other hand, you'll get a second question, which is essay, which you get 40 minutes time and you need to write between 250 to 280 words. If you're preparing for the IELTS General, on the other hand, then you get a letter writing, which again you get 20 minutes and you need to answer it in 150 to 180 words. And if it's an essay, then you need to write for 250 to 280 words and you get 40 minutes time. Now in PTE Academic, the writing module is given on the computer itself. This helps the test taker in presenting the content in a neat and effective manner, even if you do not have a good handwriting. Editing the paragraphs and sentences is made convenient due to the cut, copy, paste tab. The word count helps the test taker in aligning your essay and keeping within the word count limit. So if you take a look at the first question, it's a summarized written text and you will see the whole essay and you need to write a summary of the essay between 5 to 75 words. The good thing is that there is a word count which you can see how many words you have written so that you abide by the word limit. The second is an essay. You get to write on a topic between 200 to 300 words within the word count again. Now moving on to the reading skills. When it comes to IELTS, the length of the passage is generally between 900 to 1200 words, and the question types that you mostly get is multiple choice questions, or you get fill in the blanks, you get headings, or you get matchings, or true, false, and not given. And the same has been discussed in my earlier videos on IELTS to get more information about the different question types. Moving on to the reading skills for PTE Academic, the length of the passage is generally between 50 to 150 words, and the question types, you get 5 question types. The first is a multiple choice single answer question, then you have multiple choice multiple answer questions, then you get a reorder paragraph, then you get a reading fill-ups with a drag and drop, and the last is the reading fill-ups with the drop-down menu. And the same has been discussed in details in my other videos. Last is the listening skills. Now when it comes to IELTS, the track length is between 7 to 8 minutes and attempting while listening. So whenever the moment you're hearing, you're writing your answers on the question paper, and it's 30 minutes time altogether, and then after you have done with the listening, you get 10 minutes time to transfer the answers into the answer sheet. Question types that you get is a multiple choice questions, you get fill-ups, or also you get maps. Now, moving on to the PTE Academic listening skills, the major difference is that in PTE Academic, the test taker needs to answer the questions after listening to the track or answer while the transcript can be seen on the screen. The track length is 45 to 60 minutes, and the question types are 8 types of question types that you get. The first is a summarized spoken text. You get to hear the topic, the lecture, and then you need to write it in your own words, whatever you heard. The second is a multiple choice, multiple answer questions. Then you have fill in the blanks. Then it's highlight correct summary. Then you have multiple choice single answer questions. Then you get select missing word. Then highlight incorrect words and writing from dictation. To get more details on this, please take a look at my other videos on PTE Academic. Now let's take a look at the features here. The first feature is for registration 15 days before if you talk about IELTS. And if it's PTE Academic that you're registering, you need to register 48 hours before the exam. Secondly, if you talk about the results, then it's 13 days you need to wait after you've given the exam. And for PTE Academic, you need to only spend maximum 5 days waiting. If you want to reappear for IELTS, then you have another 15 days. Within 15 days, you need to reappear. And if it's PTE Academic, it's only 5 days. And 2 test sessions, it's a single hour, 3 hours. That's the major difference. In IELTS, you have to spend 2 days, separate 2 days. 3 sections will happen on one day, which is reading, listening, and writing, and speaking will happen on a second day. However, in PTE Academic, it's a single 3-hour computer-based test. And the reporting time, if you talk about, you need to be 1.5 hours before the exam time in IELTS, but in PTE Academic, you only need to be there 30 minutes before. Now let's talk about the PTE Pre Assessment Sheet. So it's specially I have designed for the students to get more information about how the marking happens. Now, if you talk about speaking, as I earlier mentioned, there were 5 question types. If it's a read aloud, the total marking is 15, out of which is divided 5 for content, which is what you are talking about, your task achievement. 5 is your fluency and 5 pronunciation. When it comes to repeat sentence, the total marking is out of 13, where 3 is content, 5 fluency, and 5 is pronunciation. On the other hand, describe image is out of 15 points, which 5 is your content, 5 fluency, and 5 pronunciation. Then moving on to the retell lecture, it's again 15 points, 5 content, 5 fluency, 5 pronunciation, and the last is the answer short question, which is for 1 point each. Talking about the IELTS speaking criteria, it is out of 100%, so 25% is fluency and coherence, 25% is your lexical, 25% is grammatical range, and 25% is pronunciation. Talking about fluency and coherence, let's take a look at what's talking about here. Speak at length without noticeable effort or loss of coherence, may demonstrate language hesitation at times or some repetition or correction, uses a range of connectives and discourse markers. Lexical resource is majorly your vocabulary. So use vocabulary resource flexibly to discuss a variety of topics, uses some common and idiomatic vocabulary and shows some awareness of style and collocation. Talking about grammatical range, try and make use of complex structures with flexibility. frequently produces error-free sentences, though some grammatical mistakes persist. Pronunciation is majorly your positive feature for band 6 and above. Talking about PTE writing scores, summarize written text, which I talked about, as there are 2 question types. So it is out of 7 marks, where 2 is your content, 1 is your form, which is your word limit, 2 is your grammar, 2 is your vocabulary. And on the other hand, essay is out of 15 points, 3 content, 2 form, 2 structure, whether it's organized, 2 grammar, 2 linguistic, your language, 2 vocabulary, and 2 spellings. On the other hand, the IELTS writing criteria is again out of 100%, as I talked about. This time it's the task achievement, means whatever question they have asked you, are you answering the question, address all parts of the task, presents a clear position throughout the response, presents, extends, and supports main ideas. But there may be a tendency to overgeneralize, and supporting ideas may lack focus. Coherence and cohesion is majorly your information and organizing your points and ideas. Lexical resources, again, your vocabulary, and grammatical range is again using complex structures and good grammar and punctuation. Let's take a look at the PTE reading scores. The first is multiple choice single answer is out of 1 point. Multiple choice choose multiple answer, it's 1 each, but if there's 1 incorrect, then you get -1. So be careful, try not to exceed or try not to select more than 2 options. Third is a reorder paragraph, which is out of 4 points, where 1 point you get for each pair correct. And fill in the blanks, drag and drop. That's again 1 point each for the correct answer, and the fill in the blanks, which is out of drop down menu, again you have 1 point each for each fill up. On the other hand, the IELTS reading criteria, if it is the IELTS Academic, then you can take a look at the scorecard here. Let's talk about out from 6.5 onwards. So 27 minimum you should be scoring, 27 to 30 points to get a good band score, which is 7 band. So that's for academic. And if you talk about general, it's at least you should be scoring 35 points to get a 7 band score. Moving on to the PTE listening scores, as I mentioned that we have 8 question types. So the first question type is summarize spoken text. Total points is 10, 2 for content, 2 form, 2 grammar, 2 vocab, and 2 spellings. Next is a multiple choice, choose multiple answer, 1 each incorrect and -1 for the incorrect. So be careful with such question types. Third is a fill in the blanks, where you get 1 point each for each fill up. Highlight correct summary, you get 1 point. Multiple choice, choose single answer, definitely it has to be 1 point. Select missing word, again it's 1 point each for the correct word selected. Highlight incorrect words, 1 each correct, and again -1 you get if you choose the incorrect word. And writing from dictation, which is 1 point each correct word spelled correctly. On the other hand, the IELTS listening criteria, whether it's IELTS Academic or IELTS General, it remains the same. Now here, again, you should be scoring minimum 30 to 31 points to get a 7 band score. So thank you for watching the video. Keep watching more English grammar videos and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.